Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for October 14th. We are looking at the the pound US dollar pair first, showing you what I'm looking for during this next session as far as trades go. If you notice, we have a low here. We have a pair that gapped down just a little bit. It's already retraced that gap. Now it's pushing lower, pretty strong to the downside. If you notice, we're heading down to a 0-0 level. Basically, what I'm looking for is a bounce off of that, looking to short around the 160.17 mark, looking to take profit on that one at 106,000. So if this continues to the downside, looking for a short and then looking for a quick exit for about a 17 pip, 16 pip profit. So that is what I'm looking for. There's also in the U.S. Japanese yen pair, it did create an inside bar, so there's potential for a breakout to the upside. The only issue that I have with it is there's not a whole lot of room off of this high to even to this high for there to be a good profit, and most likely we're going to run into some resistance a little bit lower than this high, probably in this neighborhood. So definitely something to keep an eye on, but probably not worthy of any particular trade. Now let's talk about news announcements. We do have some significant news announcements tomorrow. We have the advanced retail sales for the U.S. being released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Consensus on that is that it has dropped just slightly from 0.9% down to 0.8%. Then a little bit later in the day at 5:45 p.m. Eastern, we have the Consumer Price Index being released for New Zealand for their third quarter. They're showing a hold at 1.0%. Then later in the day, much later in the day, actually at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we have the Australian Reserve Bank Board October minutes being released. Of course, the numbers have already been released, so most likely it will not affect the market moving forward. Okay, let's take a look at the U.S. Japanese yen pair as far as ranges for this next session. Look for it to potentially go as high as 78.73, possibly down to 77.99. Look for some resistance around 78.65, and look for some support around 78.05. Now the Euro USD closed up on Friday, gap just a hair down, has retraced that, moving to the downside. Look for it to potentially go as high as 130.47, possibly as low as 128.66. Look for some resistance around 129.95, and look for some support around 128.75. Now the pound US dollar pair, it did gap just a little bit, not really significant enough to trigger a gap trade. However, it did retrace it, is pushing lower. I'm looking for a short off of it. I am looking for it to potentially go as high as 161.48 if it reverses to the upside, possibly as low as 159.67. Look for some resistance at 161.25, and look for some support around 159.99. Now the US Swiss, this pair gapped down just a hair, has retraced it, moving to the upside. Look for it to potentially go as high as 0.9398, possibly as low as 0.9263. Look for some resistance around 0.9360, and look for some support around 0.9305. Well, that pretty much wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.